Well, hello everybody and a very good afternoon. Welcome to Crafters TV. My name's Ben Moseby. Thanks for joining us. We are middle of the week already, can you believe it? And we've got another fun day lined up for you. You guys have been loving the shows this week. We've had loads of positive feedback, which is amazing. Lots of educational shows, lots of interactive shows. I know we always are. We're always educational, we're always interactive, but I think even more so this week with the Craft Your Stash shows. Just to let you know, coming up later on this evening, live at 5. We've got another craft along for you. Mentioned this one yesterday. It is with the Thanksgiving collection. So if you picked that up yesterday on launch party and you've got that being shipped out to you, make sure you are watching tonight. Save the show so you'll have that craft along to come back to you when your goodies arrive. If you've already got that collection, then make sure you join us. All the details and everything that you need if you want to join along with that tonight from 5 up on our various social pages. So have a look, get those bits and pieces together, and you can join with us tonight at 5. Of course, right now we are here for another educational show on Craft Your Stash. This week so far we have covered off all things stamping. Yesterday we were taken to glue school, so hopefully you're now kind of au fait with all things stamping, all things gluing. Today we are going to be looking at all things stenciling. So again, it might be something that you need a bit of a refresher on. It might be something that you've never done before and you're interested to find out more, and that's what we intend to do over the course of this show. Delighted to say, well, my absolute fave is back in the building, the lovely Debbie Fisher. And I know, Debbie, you're super excited about this Craft Your Stash, aren't you?
I am so excited about this. I mean, by the way, welcome to my craft room. I feel like I've just been made at home here. This feels like I'm crafting from home. It's what we want it to be for you, because we want it to feel like you're crafting in your craft room. We're going to go right back to basics, and I love stenciling. I think stenciling adds something just amazing to every project that you do, because stenciling isn't just a case of putting your stencil down and inking through. There's so much more you can do with a stencil, so we're going to run through all of that today. Then we're going to talk about blending, how you blend, what you blend with. We've literally got so much to get through, and inks as well, ink pads, and how you blend them together, the different creations that you can get. And also we're going to be looking at glitter paste. You know how you love that texture that comes through. That's going to be amazing in itself, because glitter paste, I feel like, have revolutionised the craft industry, because they add something that we've not had before. Glitter pastes are so good because of their texture, because of what you can put them onto as well. So we're talking about all sorts of mixed media. We're talking about being able to put all of those things down onto glass. We're going to be showing you how to do a mirror as well. So lots of different ways. But let me just tell you about some of the blending tools that we have. So we're going to have a look at these in just a second. But we have got so many stencils to get through, which come in all different shapes and forms as well. I mean, if I tell you, you can get large stencils like this, and then they go down to sort of panel stencils, and we're going to be looking at layering stencils, where you've got sort of 3 different stencils you can pop together to create just some of the most amazing creations. You're going to absolutely love them, and it's just going to be a brilliant show, Ben. I think everything that we do is just going to be something that everyone can relate to as well.
Excellent stuff. We will get through everything over the course of the next hour. Radical Rachel on the socials today. Already in is Patty Redmond. He says hello from Michigan. Hello, PB Brewer Martin. He says, I'm very excited about this stencil show with Ben and Debbie. And hi all from South GA. Lois joins us in Ohio. Hello, Laurie Barnett, who says, here we go. And Kathy Green says, good morning, Debbie and Ben from Mechanicsburg. Hello, Ruth Manor and Julie Palmer and Polly Coe in Blountstown. And Sherlan Telsford says, good morning from San Antonio. Helen Stewart says, I'm looking forward to the show. And Kathy Green says, I need to utilise my stencils more. This is where this show is going to be great for you guys. All right, so towards the end of the show, I'll get to sit down with Debbie. I need your questions, please. So anything you want to ask. And don't worry, if you're dipping in and out of this show and you think, oh, they might well have covered that, should I ask it again? Whatever the question is, ask. If there's anything in particular that you want to see, please ask, and we will do our very best to recap on things at the end of the show. But I think what you will find over the course of this show, everything will be covered off. But let's get into it, and let's get started with the basics. We're going to have a look at the kind of things that we're going to need, first of all, with you, Debbie. If you want to get into stenciling, let's look at some of the products.
So the thing we want to start off with first is how you blend ink into stencils. Now, having a stencil is all very well. Now, the stencils themselves are in this sort of plastic, which are going to, longevity of them are going to be amazing because they're going to last and last and last. Wash them in warm soapy water and honestly, they will last forever. But what do you blend with them? That's the thing with blending tools, because we do have a whole variety, and I would say each one of them has their own use, but each one of them is what you can find you like yourself. So let's start off with the basics. We've got these ones, which is our tools for ink blending. These have got a sponge on the end here, and they are brilliant for all stenciling, but also all blending of your inks. They come in two different sizes. So we do the rectangle one, which is classed as a square, and we do the circle one. So they're very good as well. And you get pads extra. You can buy additional pads for them, so you can use different colours with them. The other thing we've got is these ones, which are like the little smoothie eggs. The blending smoothness capabilities of these are amazing, and they come in a pack of 4. They're absolutely incredible. We're going to show how to use each one of these so you know exactly what their uses are for. But they're absolutely amazing, and they're really good if you don't have a tight grip on anything because they're very spongy. In fact, I'll bring one here so you can just see it. It literally, look how squeegee that is. Very, very sort of squeegee. And you can literally rinse these out in water and reuse them again. You might find that the dye will go onto them and dye them a different colour, but once you've washed them, they'll be fine to use on a different colour. The other thing we have, which are just one of my favourites, are these. Now, these come in a pack of 5, and each one of these come in a little box like this. These are incredible brushes. They really are the supreme blending. So you're literally going to open them up like that. You've got your brush. The density in these brushes is just incredible. The lay down of ink that you get with them, the smoothness of ink that you get with them are amazing. So these really, if you could go for these ones, they are the best there is. They're just amazing. We'll go through more of those and how they work as well. The next things that we have, again, for small intricate detail, these are incredible. So these are our ink daubers. They come in a little tub like this, so you can see you've got plenty to use. You can use them for all your different colour families as well. You don't need to, so even though we do a colour family, let's say of a light pink, a medium pink and a dark pink, you could still just use one for all of those pinks. And all you have to do is, when you want to get that ink off, is just wipe that or dauber it down onto some kitchen towel or some cardstock, create another background, and then it's ready to use for another colour as well. So they are absolutely amazing. Now, the other thing that I would suggest as well is when you are inking, not only do you have your amazing ink pads, when you use ink pads and you're using anything on them, so let's just say we take this Oasis one and we do this. Can you see my ink pad is moving around? Doesn't really matter because it's getting the ink, but I do have this amazing easy grip. Now, these are sheets, and I'm just going to open them up so you can see exactly what they are, and you'll see that mine has been well used. You will get a full one. They are just, you can just cut into them. So I've cut a square out of this one, and I've used it here. So you take off the actual backing. You've got this, it's almost like a little silicone sort of stopper. You literally place that onto your glass mat. Then when you put this down, I cannot, like, I'm moving my mat, not the ink pad. So that is amazing. These are so good when you're inking and using stencils, because you can just put that at the side. I can put my ink pad down, and now when I'm ready to ink, I can go into there, push anywhere, and it's not going to go anywhere. So I think that's absolutely brilliant that we can do that and have a grip on there, as well as all these amazing tools to blend our ink with through our stencils.
Lots of lovely comments already coming through. Thank you for this, everybody. Patricia says, hello from Norfolk. I'm glad that you do these programmes. Yeah, you know what? I think it's great that we do them at this time as well, because it kind of gives you a bit of a roll in to birthday next week, where, of course, you're going to be buying all of these brand new goodies. So we want to make sure that you are going to get the very best out of all of those goodies. So, you know how to glue, you know how to stamp, you know how to stencil. And still to come this week, actually, we're going to be looking at all things storage and indeed embossing as well in these shows. They are each and every day at midday UK, 7 a.m. Eastern. And Helen says, we are learning so much this week. Great shows. Questions, please. Make sure you send those in. Anything you would like to ask, anything you want Debbie to recap on, we will do towards the end of the show. But let's get into it. We've had a look at the products and kind of things that you will be needing, as far as your stencils are concerned and your blending tools and all those kind of things. But first up, after that, let's have a look at basic stencil blending with Debbie.
If you love stenciling, you're going to really want to use your stencils in a really simple way to start with and then build it up. So the first thing we're going to do is just look at some basic ink stenciling. So I've took one of my stencils. This one is from the Stylish Trio. I'm going to place one of them onto here. They come in 3 different ones. You'll have lots of different ones in here. And then we're going to use this one, which is our water reactive dye. But you can use any ink pad to stencil through. I'm also going to start off with my smoothie as well. And all we're going to do is literally pounce some of this through here. So this is just your first lay down of one colour and making that really smooth blend. It's such a lovely way to just be able to add a background, add that texture, add something a little bit different. It's just quite an incredible thing to do to have a stencil. Now what I am going to do, just pushing the ink back up through that. So depending on how dark you want the ink, you can put less pressure. Now I want to show you all the different tools that we have as well, because they all work the same way. So let's bring in one of these. So we're literally just going to take this one, put some ink onto there, and then we're just going to, this one, you can see I'm circling. So you're just doing these circle motions to put the ink through there, just like so. And you get that lay down of colour again, but you get more precision and you get a thicker sort of lay down of colour. And again, you can use any tool. So if you bring in the square one, that gives you more surface to go on. So if you want to put a bigger amount on for your surface, you've got that one to put through as well. So they all work in that same way. I'm going to show you these ones, and then we're going to go on to show how you can get a really smooth blend of colour by using different coloured ink pads with one of our brushes. So then when we take this off for the reveal, let me just take that away, you'll be able to see we've got that amazing lay down of colour. So if I turn that round, you'll be able to see it's just incredible. We've got that even layerage of colour all the way through, which looks absolutely amazing. So that is your simple, basic putting down of one colour. Now let's go on to another stencil, and we're going to use the same colour family. So I'm using Oasis. We're using these sort of turquoise colours. These are our colour family in the turquoise. We've got our Oasis, our Parakeet, and our Lagoon. And I'm going to be using all 3 of those. So let's pop them up here so you can see. And I'm going to put them in the colour order. So we're going to have our lightest one, which is our Oasis, our medium one, our Parakeet, and then our darkest one, the Lagoon. Now we've also got in that set this beautiful sort of splodged water effect. So I thought this would look really cool to use. So I'm going to place that on there. Now this time, because I want to use 3 different colours, I want to make sure we maximise keeping this in space. So I'm going to use some low tack tape. We're literally going to take a piece of that off, and we're going to place that just along the top. By placing that along the top as well, what that enables us to do is be able to have that as a hinge. So if we want to see how it's looking, we can absolutely do that. Now I'm going to bring in my favourite, which is the brushes here. And I'm also just going to pop these onto here to keep them in place. So once we do that, you can see I'm literally moving that brush into that Oasis. And we're going to start off by doing our top part here in that lightest colour. Now look at the lay down of ink you are getting here. It is remarkable. And it's the smoothest blend that you will get. So literally going down, I'm going to do about 1/3 of the way. And then we're going to start with our next colour. Now I'm not going to do anything with this because it's not going to sink right into the bristles because this is so dense. I'm going to go straight into our Parakeet, and you'll see the difference. Look at that difference in colour. Now what this is creating is an ombre effect. Now ombres in the craft land is incredible because you can use any colours to create that, going from one lighter colour into a medium colour into a darker colour, which just looks incredible. So we're going to do that one, and then we're going to go straight in. I'm still using that same brush. We're going to now go into the Lagoon, which is our darkest colour. And you can see that's adding that real pop of darkness at the bottom there. And you can use these in any order. You don't need to, you know, worry about where you put them. If you want the darkest one on the top, it's absolutely fine. So just using that to go down to create that beautiful ombre. And if we just want to make that a little bit darker, we can just go in. And then if I want to go back on a colour, so if I want to go back into my Oasis, I can absolutely do that, because all we're going to do, and in fact it's a good idea to show you how you can do your brushes. I'm actually going to just grab myself a piece of kitchen towel. We can then spritz our kitchen towel with some water. So all I'm going to do is literally spritz that onto there. Not a lot, you just want a waft of water. And then I'm going to take off that darkness. Now that's just sitting on the top of my bristles. If I turn that over, look at that. It's near enough gone. I mean, that's incredible. So we'll do that. I don't want to get completely clean because I want to go back in and use the lightest colour, just so we've got a bit more brightening going up on the top here. And you're just going to use those to go on the top, like so. And then all you're going to do, when to clean this, again, we're going to pop some water down. We're going to use that to clean our brush. Don't spray your water onto here, because the one thing you don't want it to do is to put too much water in your brush, because you don't want it to sort of clog into your brush or go down, because all that's going to do is take your ink and push it down into your brush. And we want to keep that dense, because now once I've cleaned this, I could then use this on a lighter pink, I could use it on a completely different colour and it'll be fine. I'm going to give it one more, so spritz onto there, take that, and that's going to then just take off any residue. And then if I turn that over, you'll be able to look at that. There is none coming off. It's so amazing how you can clean those. That's now ready for any colour that I want it into. Love that I've got my little container that I can pop that down, shut that up, and that's all done. But now the reveal. So let's take this off. Look at that. I mean, such a beautiful ombre effect that you get from there with your light, your medium and your dark. And then you want to create a card out of it. If I bring that one in, I've just literally used Sarah's Enchanted Ocean just to make that finished card. How amazing is that?
Do you know what? There's so much love coming in for stencils, which is brilliant. And they are so versatile, as you're seeing. And I think particularly if you are new, stencils are a great place to start. A great place to kind of, you know, create backgrounds, create whole projects with. Sandy says, love this week of basics so much. Everything is so helpful. Make sure you remember when these shows are as well, so you can come back and jot the dates down, because don't ask me in 2 weeks' time, because I'll have forgotten. Make sure you jot down where they are so you can come back if you ever need to kind of refresh your memory. PB Brewer Martin says, the Craft Your Stash classes this week are fabulous. It's like attending an art retreat for a week with the best teachers in the industry, providing unrushed, interactive instruction and fun. Thank you so much for that, and that's what it is all about. Rebecca is in with us as well, saying hello to us, and also hello again to PB Brewer Martin. He says, stencils have really made a comeback. It's Stencils 2.0. There are so many new brushes, so many inks and pastes and papers and layering that can be used on endless surfaces. Cannot wait for 19th birthday week. Yeah, you're absolutely right. They really have made a bit of a comeback. And of course, you know, so we'll go on to talking about things like running your glitter paste through these, all the different applicators that you've got now as well. There's so much choice. The great thing is too, if you see anything that you like on the show, if you see anything that Debbie is using, you think, oh, I need that, or I need to stock up on that, just head to the website. All the items are there for you, so you can pick up all of those deals, all of those tools to make your stenciling life very, very easy indeed. Also, whilst you are on the website, don't forget we've got our outlet sale. I've just had a little email pop through into my box to tell me that new lines have been added. So if you are heading over to upgrade your sort of stencil game, do check out the outlet sale as well with new lines there for you. Keep the questions coming. I can see a few which have come in already. We will leave all of those until the end of the show. All right, so if you have got a question, don't worry. We will do those for you right at the end. Let's get back into it though, and we are next going to be looking at layering stencils for depth with Debbie.
I'm now going to show you how to do some layering stencils and just how effective they can look. And you can get this effect with any layering stencils. Super easy to do. I'm using ones called Radiant Roses, and this one has got 3 layering stencils. You'll find plenty out there to look at, but really simple to do. And what I would recommend is having your ink daubers. This is what we're going to be using. These are super easy, and the reason being is because these have been created for your fingers. So literally you're going to pop that into your finger like so. If you're really clever, you could put 2 or 3 on at the same time and dip them between your different ones. So there you go. The other thing is if you do have problems with your fingers or you don't really like to use them, you can actually use, I used the spray tool before, being able to spray your water. These will fit on the bottom of them. So you can actually use them as a tool in themselves to have these. So super easy the way that you can use them. I'm just going to pop them on my fingers. So let's take a couple of these. We're going to take, now this one's really simple. Most layering stencils will come with numbers. This one tells me 1, 2 and 3. So we're going to use number 1. So let's start with a piece of cardstock. And we're just going to place that onto our card like so, and then we're going to use some low-tack tape just to have that down on there. We don't want it to move, so we want to make sure it's placed. Now, the good thing about this is what you could do, although you can see the layering, I'm going to put this right to the edge of my card. That means that I'm going to actually put a piece down on this side like so, and then I think I might just secure it to the actual glass mat as well. So place that down there. That's really secure on here. And let's start off with dropping them there. Let's start off with our pink tulip. I've got our fuchsia and I've got our plum jam on here as well. So the first thing I want to do is we want to actually use our, I'm going to use the darkest, the middle one, which is our fuchsia. And we're going to come in with this one and we're going to go in with we don't want to use the pinks, we want to use our greens first. I've just looked at this and seen it's our greens. So let's just bring these ones in. Don't worry, we will get to those pink ones. So I'm going in first of all with our spring meadow. And that one is going to put down here. Now this is why these are good, because you can actually have real precision in these. So I'm going to put that green down all the way around. And we're also going to use this to go through those little dots. And can you see, all I'm doing is twisting these. So just going into those little dots and twisting that colour into them. It's a really cool effect just to lay down that colour, like so. And it's just okay. And you could use a different colour if you wanted to. I just thought we'd stay with that beautiful spring meadow green. So just pounding that down into the card through that stencil, and I'm just slightly twisting. And if you've used stencils before, you'll know how easy they are and where they stay in place. So it's just a case of now, and still carrying on, and then we're just going to put a little bit more. And the reason I like to twist is because you're not then picking up any small part of the stencil, you're keeping it flat at all times. So literally getting down to that last little bit. And then we've got the leaves at the bottom here. And these are all adding to being able to put those flowers on top. So just like so. And it's just a really effective way. If you love crafting and you like your ink pads, stenciling, especially 3D stenciling, is a really cool way to be crafty. Right, so that's our first layer down. We can now take that one away. And you'll be able to see how that's created like so. So it looks cool, but we can make that look better. So now, in fact, let me just bring that round so you can see how that looks. I mean, if you are someone, I'm thinking if you are someone that loves illustration work, you could draw your own flower into that make, which would be amazing. So we're going to carry on with the stencils. So we're using our second stencil. And again, I'm going to bring that into where my corner was, because that's where we placed it before. And I know that that's going to be perfectly placed. So just like so, and let's bring in some more low-tack tape. And we're going to just place that again on the top part and at the side, just so I know it's secure in there. Now I've done with my lightest colour of my greens, so let's pop that to the side, and then I'm going to bring in our darker green, which is our grasshopper. So let's place that under my little mat, And then you could get another one, but actually I'm going to use the same one because we can still go in with that darker colour, and we're going to place that through here. So this is where we layer up the stencil. And you can see already the darkness of how that's going to go on the top. And we're going to do the same. It's just creating those leaf veins into the leaf for us. So again, I'm just popping the ink down and twisting slightly. It's a technique I've learned that works for me, so try it because it's very good. And then we're going to go in with our fuchsia. So let's use that one. And again, now because these have got small little tiny pieces, if I was to rub that all on top, it would pick those up and the ink would go underneath. So that's why I've found that just by sort of putting the ink through and twisting, you get a really good lay down of ink, but also you don't pick up any of those small plastic pieces. And it's just a case of going through till you get that design. So let's just pop that through. You can put as little or as much as you want. We're just going to go round with this one. If you wanted a bigger lay down of colour, let me just switch to this one here. And then we can go in and put more colour down. So the choice is yours of what applicator that you use. Like so. And then all I'm going to do is with that same ink one, we're going to come in with our plum jam. And we're just going to ink a little bit of darkness around. We don't want to cover the fuchsia up, we just want to get some contrast. And we're going to do the same in here, just add in some darker elements. And that gives us our second layer. So let's take that one. Look at that. Let me show you that one. Absolutely beautiful. How stunning is that flower now? Absolutely gorgeous. Now what we're going to do, we're going to use the next layer. Now this layer is really cool because it actually creates a background. So we're going to place that onto here. We're going to use our low tack tape. Again, popping that down, and then this time we're going to bring it back in the Pal Pink. We didn't use the Pal Pink for the actual stencil, so we're going to use this in the background, which makes a really nice contrast. Now, just because I've already used a darker ink on this one, I'm going to use a different one to create with the Pal Pink. So let's pop that on there. And then again, I don't want it to cover my whole image. This is about creating a really cool effect in the background. You've got these amazing swirls going on here. And you could find lots of different stencils that you can create backgrounds with that just look super cool. So it's just a case of popping it where I need it, twisting as I go, like so, and that is going to give you the most amazing effect. Let's do the other side. And just up here. And this is a nice lighter colour, so it's got a really nice contrast to it. It's not going to hide the green dots that we've got going on. It's just going to layer over the top of them. And then when we take that one away, let's take that one. Look at that, it's beautiful. Turn that round so you can see that one. And then if I bring in my finished card that I've made, you can see popping that into a card, a little sentiment on the front, and it looks absolutely perfect. So let's just place that one on there, like so. Love that.
Brilliant stuff, isn't it? So many great hints and tips from Debbie as far as stenciling is concerned. Little Bear says, I think stenciling is very therapeutic and all Debbie's extra ideas are really helpful. Helen says, I'm embossing with stencils too now after watching some tutorials. Great, you say. And Pat Demarest says, as so many people have already said, I'm enjoying this week. It's not just a good refresher. I've also learned new things. I think that's the brilliant thing, isn't it? You know, refresh the old memory, learn new things, even if you are quite experienced at crafting. But certainly if you are, a beginner, someone who perhaps just sort of dabbles now and again, all these shows are going to be brilliant to kind of help you upskill and help your crafting become even better. Laurie Barnett says, I just love watching the magic. And Helen says, I don't have any layering stencils, but they look quite easy to use. I think they are, and I think stencils are a great in for people who are new to crafting too. They're very versatile, as you've seen with Debbie. You can pop lots of different mediums through them, and they are really, really simple to get to grips with. So again, have a look on our website, check out all the different stencils that we've got. Search for layering stencils, and you'll be able to see all of the different products we've got right there. Pat says, as I'm watching Debbie, I'm sitting here thinking, I have to do more stenciling. The results are stunning, and it's an easy technique to do. Hopefully that's what you're seeing. It's nice and easy, it's nice and achievable for everybody, but the results that you get, no matter what the medium is, you're going to get a stunning result. You're going to get a finished card in next to no time that's going to look the absolute business. Cheryl saying, wow, I'm looking forward to giving these stenciling techniques a try. And hello, good morning to Kathy Lear, who says, good morning, Ben, Debbie, and fellow crafters. Stencils make the cards look very artistic, light and airy, and absolutely beautiful. Keep the comments coming in, everybody. We are appreciating all of those, and the questions as well. We will be heading over to Debbie in around about 10-15 minutes time with your questions. I've jotted down a few things I want to chat to Debbie about. Have you got anything you want to ask? Have you got anything particularly that you want to see? Fire in those questions and requests now, and we can make sure that the interactive segment is going to be exactly what you want it to be. Next up, we've seen inks, but we're going to have a look now, Debbie, at adding dimension with our stencils.
I'm going to show you now how to add dimension using glitter pastes, which are amazing because they give you an exceptional texture onto anything that you put them onto. And that means not only cardstock, but you can put them onto fabrics, you can put them onto homewares, onto candles, so anything you can put them onto, and they are so resistant to lots of things. You can move them around, the glitter doesn't come off once they're dried. Let's have a look at our Golden Fall. So this one is one of my favourite stencils. It's absolutely beautiful, and it comes with 3 different stencils. So it comes with one that gives you a whole 8x8 sheet. It comes with a strip one as well here, which you can't really see in that light, but you'll be able to see it once we stencil through. And then it also comes with this beautiful topper stencil as well, which has that leaf print on them. So let's start off with this strip here. Now, when you're stenciling, there's a few things that you will need. One of them is some palette knives. So you can get yourself some palette knives. They are amazing to use because they are flat, completely flat. Now you've got one that has this sort of sculptured piece, which is quite a favourite to a lot of people. So you can see there it's sort of sculptures. And when you lay down, you've then got sort of a little bit of movement. You've also got a flatter knife here. So if you like just having that flat, almost like pasting, isn't it? Like a plasterer, isn't it? So putting them through. But that one's a good one to use as well. So you'll find which ones that you like the most. So you can either or. I like both of them, so I never mind which one I'm using. The flatter one you can get more onto. So if you're doing a bigger area, that's a really good one. And then this one, because it's more pointed, you don't have to put so much on there. Plus, you can get tiny amounts to put into tiny little details. The other thing we do is these, which are amazing. They're like little silicone spoons. So when you bring in, let me bring in my glitter paste. I've got my golden leaf. It is one of my absolute favourite colours. And this is brilliant because it means that we can, when you get to the bottom of your pot, or you just want to give it a stir, you've got this really flexible side that's going to get all of that glitter going. You just literally, if you're down, you can just stir it. You can literally do loads with that. So it's a good little tool to have. So that's a little tool that you can absolutely use. I would clean these as you go along as well, because you don't want to leave glitter on anything because it dries rock solid. The other one we're going to use is this one, is our Potion Green. Both of these colours work really well, especially for the autumnal card that we're going to make. So I'm going to be doing a mixture of both. If you're just doing one flat colour, easy enough, but I want to use 2 colours. And then what we're going to do is literally take this onto the back of our knife. So literally bring this up on the back here. I'm not going to put too much on, just enough to cover where I need it. And actually, I am just going to use some low tack tape. And we're just going to tape that down. It's always better to tape down, and that way you know it won't shift. There we go. And then as we bring this down, you're going to just pop that down like that so it's flat, and then you're going to bring that over. So it makes a slight scratching noise because that's normal, because we're actually putting that glitter through our paste. And then I'm going to put it sort of sporadically where I would like it to go. It doesn't have to be in one place. I'm just going to use it where I want it. So let's bring some more down here. And I'm just going to use up all of that I've got. Then I'm going to take that away. So I'm just going to go over the top. We've still got that amazing texture. I'm not worrying about gaps that I haven't filled because we're going to go in with the green. The reason I want to take all of that up, you can see there's quite a lot on here. See, there we go. You can really pick that up there. There's a lot still on there. We're going to place that back into our pot. I like to just move that away from the side because it just saves it from drying at all if you've not used them for a long time. And then we can close that one up, pop that to the side. And then we're going to bring this up. Now, what I am going to do is if I just lift it, in fact, let me bring it to the close-up camera so then you can see exactly what we've got. So bringing that up. So if I just turn that round, just so you can see a little bit through there. Don't worry, I will reveal soon. So pop that back down, and then we're going to bring this round like so. And we're going to just bring, and I'm only taking a small amount this time, and we're just going to pop that into the places that I haven't got any. And the reason I've took a small amount is because I don't want to mix my colours, so none of this will go back in the pot. So that's why you just take little and when you need it, because I just want to get that beautiful ombre effect. I can still go in with the tip of this into little sections where I want some green, and then we're going to come down here and bring in that green to the base. So I can see I need a little bit more. We're not doing too badly, but I am going to just bring in a tiny bit more. But I don't want to have any waste. And the only reason being is I don't want to mix my pots. So it's literally a case of popping that onto there, like so. I think we'll get away with that. There we go. So we've got a tiny little bit, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to clean that off because I don't want that to set onto my palette knife. And then we're going to do the reveal. So if I just take the end of this off and we're going to bring that over like so. Look at that. It's absolutely beautiful. So if I turn that round, texture on your embossing is amazing. You get that intense glitter, you get just the most incredible lay down of colour. Absolutely love that one. Now with the topper, you do exactly the same. So I'm bringing that topper one in. We're just going to place that onto here, and then we're just going to use our paste again. And in exactly the same way. So let's bring in that gorgeous gold leaf. I always leave the coating on there, it just helps with not drying anything out. Now if you want to, again, you can use two colours, but just for quickness this time, I am just going to bring in one colour to show you how beautiful it is just to use that one colour on top. You can also see that I'm using my knife flat, because if you use your knife upwards, you're not going to be able to, you won't be able to, if you bring that across, you're going to start digging out the areas. So you don't want to do that. You want to lay it flat and go across flat. And that's going to give you an incredible lay down of colour. Let's pop that to the side. Bring that one in. I'm just going to take that one off. Make sure we're cleaning as we go. Bring your stencil in. Oh, look at that. Absolutely stunning. If I bring that one round, the sparkle you get, the intense shimmer, and also the texture. Now I would say leave this for an hour and it will be touch dry, but you want to leave it for a good sort of 4 to 6 hours and it will be solidly dry to the point, if I bring in my finished card here, so you'll be able to see it. I can rub this, really rub this, and nothing is going to come off of there. It's just a really good way of being able to put that down and having that beautiful textured risen surface, which just makes your cards look amazing.
Some brilliant demonstrations, right? It's been so much fun again, hasn't it? And really educational too. You guys have loved it. Thank you to Colleen, who says, I love using the glitter paste and stencils. I was working on some Christmas cards with the glitter paste. As always, you know what, if you have made any recent projects, feel free to send those in. Feel free to pop those on our socials as well, and tag the various experts, because we love to see what you guys have been up to. Janice also saying, I've always been a little intimidated by stencils. Finally, though, it all makes sense. Hopefully, that's the point of these Craft Your Stash shows, is to kind of, as I say, upskill you. So if you are fairly new to craft, maybe stenciling isn't something that you do that often, and hopefully you've picked up loads of hints and tips over the course of this show, and you're now going to give it a go. You're going to get those stencils out, or potentially you're going to head to the website. Again, worth reiterating, everything that Debbie's been using, everything that you've seen, go to our website. If you need to pick those bits and pieces up, just search them, get them in your basket, and get giving it a go. As I say, I think stenciling is one of those things, as PB Brewer Martin was saying, is sort of coming back in. It's nice and easy to do, nice and easy to achieve some fantastic results. And we're going to come back in about 4 or 5 minutes' time with your questions. Still opportunity for you to get any questions in, anything you want to ask Debbie, anything particular that you'd like to see. We will try and do that. But in the meantime, if you've got anything in your basket, get that checked out, and also check out the various sales that we've got. Some new lines added to our outlet sale on the website, and we'll meet you back here in about 4 minutes' time.
Come in, check my emails, then lay the shows out in the studio, set pack shots up. Then I will get new polls, pick shows, solve any problems that need solving. We deal with other teams where we receive market and suites, we receive boards. We pick samples to send to Hobby Maker. We pick samples to send to QVC. We will take the previous shows out of the studios, set the new shows up. We do floor manage occasionally, not all the time, making sure that the craft expert presenters have everything at hand that they need. Anything that they haven't got during shows, we will run about and get the products for them. Think on a morning when it's really quiet, I can get more done when there's nobody else in the building. Night owl. Morning. Coffee on a morning, tea the rest of the day. Savoury. Normally lunchtime. Craft along. Mobile phone. Christina's chicken wrap. Barry White. You're my first, my last, my everything. Go home and make the tea.
I like to get up, chill, relax, get a cup of tea, then get myself sorted. And if I'm presenter, I'll write all my notes. If I'm the demonstrator, I'll get my prep out, have another look at it, make sure that everything is the way it needs to be for the show, do the show. Then what I'll do is I'll grab something to eat, then have another look at the sheets again, making sure the next show's all good to go. Then we do that show, tidy. I always like to make sure that the area is nice and tidy, either for myself the next day or whoever's in. Jump in the car, head home. I will quickly unpack what I need to unpack, and then I get on that sofa as quick as I can. As soon as we go live, I love that within our live shows, I always get the butterflies. As soon as we get that countdown in our ear that we're just going live, butterflies kick in, and within about 10-15 seconds, I'm going. Butterflies have gone, and we just enjoy the show. Early riser. Oh, shower in the morning. Tea. Oh, savoury breakfast. Masterclass. My mobile phone. Oh, anything with chicken. Currently, It is The Weekend, Blinding Light, and it has been for about a couple of years, and I still love it. Apart from jumping in the car, chilling on the sofa, watching TV.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for all the lovely comments coming through. Sandy, I love your comment here. These shows give me hope, you say, lol. Well, that's what they're all about, I think, to give you hope, to give you the necessary ideas and the skills. And like I say, I think they're for everybody, aren't they? If they are helping you because you're new, then brilliant. If they're giving you a bit of a refresher because you've forgotten various things, then brilliant. If they are making you, in this instance, get your stencils out of your crafty cupboard because you haven't used them in ages, then again, we've done our job. Absolutely brilliant. We've got some questions that have come through, which I'll tackle with Debbie in just a few moments' time. But I know one thing that we haven't sort of talked about at length, which we can show you, and a few people are asking about, is using our stencils with our glitter paste on home decor projects. So that's something that we're going to have a look at with Debbie right now, using our stencils, Debbie, and we're going to go onto a mirror this time.
Show you how to do a piece of home decor with using our stencil paste and being able to create a mirror. What I love about stencils on a mirror is you can still see through them, and I think that's really important because if you're doing a mirror you want to be able to look into it as well. So there's nothing better than having something that's really decorative but also as a feature in the home. And there's so many home decor bits that you could be doing, whether they're nice boxes on the side, whether a beautiful candle. You might have some Christmas stencils and you want to put around a candle. You might want to decorate your napkins, just have a little embellishment on them. It's going to look amazing. But let's start with the stencil and see what we can do. So you can see here, you'll be able to sort of see, we have got the mirror, so you can see me in there. But we're going to place our stencil into the middle. Now you could measure it. I'm just going to do this by eye. So we're just going to place that on there. I'm not going to actually tape it down because once you start to put your paste through, so using this paste here, and we're just using that golden leaf colour, we're literally just going to pop this across. Once it starts going through, you'll find that it will automatically sort of stick itself to your mirror because that's actually almost like a little suction. And we're just going to do it one colour. You could put multiple colours through if you wanted to make it look a bit different. We're just going to guide that down. You can see I'm only using a small amount at a time. Just move my hands from there. I would also recommend just giving your mirror a polish before, so if it's got any grubby pores on there, just give them a clean, and then you can use this on the top. Once it's actually set, you can wipe around it and clean around it, and it will stay into place. So we're just now coming down to that bottom. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just rotate it. So now it's easier to go from the top and I can hold it and see where it's going to go. So again, just scraping that down, keeping your knife nice and flat. I love doing home decor. It's just one of those things that looks so good. You've done it yourself and people will really sort of just tell you how good it looks. There's nothing better than doing some crafting and everyone notices. So let's just scrape that one across. I'm literally going to pop that one back and then let's show exactly how it's going to be. So we're just going to peel that away like so. Look at that, absolutely stunning. Really lovely piece of home decor for you.
There you go, we've covered off so much. Home decor, tick, done, and so many questions from you guys coming in. So we're going to tackle those in just a few moments' time. So we will do those in just a second. I will head that way whilst you have a look at this. Did you know something is coming? All very exciting, right? Next week, you know it is coming. If you haven't yet got your booklet, make sure you download it. It's there across all of our socials. All right, on to the questions then. Loads of questions flying in, as we knew there would be. Nettie News got the first question. She says, hi Ben and Debbie. She says, I use the spray adhesive to secure the stencils, but sometimes when I lift the stencil off, it takes the top layer of the paper off. What am I doing wrong? Is that a case of too much spray, you think?
That's a really good question, because that's happened to me before as well. Now, what you want to do is make sure you've got a good cardstock.
Right.
It's not to do with the spray, it is to do with the cardstock. Also, and I've thought this myself before, it might not be your cardstock that's coming away. It might be some residue of the actual glue. Let it dry, whatever you've put it on with. So take your stencil away, let whatever's on there dry, so whether you've used your inks, whether you've used your glitter paste, just let them dry. When it's dry, take just a normal eraser.
Okay.
And you can just rub that away and it will come away. So I think you might find that that is actually the glue residue rather than your cardstock. And otherwise you want a good quality cardstock as well. But you don't need a lot of glue. It's just a light spray over your stencil. But it's a great way. So if you use a stencil spray, make sure it is one that's repositionable. You don't want one that's permanent.
Is it easier then, because one of the things I was going to ask, I jotted down a few questions as we were going through, is it easier then to potentially use a low-tack tape as opposed to a spray?
I always use a low-tack tape, yes. I think sprays come into their own and people sort of, you know, it gives them a bit of comfort really, because you can't go wrong with a spray because it's going to hold it into place. So I have used sprays in my time, but yeah, low-tack tape as well. So either or, I think you do you, whichever suits you, but they are both good.
Helen Stewart's got a question. Great minds think alike, Helen. I thought of this one. So she's asking, what are the best inks to use for stenciling? What's the best one to get the best results?
So any ink pads. I mean, such a simple question, but it's not simple if you don't know. I think inks themselves offer so many different things. If you want quick drying, so we talked about layering stencils.
Yeah.
Quick drying inks are perfect for layering stencils because you don't need to let that ink dry underneath. You put that ink on literally as soon as you wipe it, it's dry. I love our quick drying ink pads, they're amazing. Water reactive ink pads are amazing as well because their blendable capabilities are incredible, as you know, Ben. And you can water react with them, you can create little faux bleach backgrounds, so they're really good. Pink pigment ink pads are absolutely brilliant because you can heat emboss with pigment ink pads. And then you've got all the other ink pads that we do. So, I mean, I'm just waffling about our ink pads really, aren't I? They are all amazing. So any ink pads, any you want will go through Stencils.
I'm going to just carry on with this line of questioning.
Yes.
If I'm a beginner and I'm thinking about, right, I just want to go with one type of ink pad, which one would you say to go with first?
Water reactive.
Right.
I would absolutely use water reactive. Or our duets, because duets are a sort of cross between. So, but yes, I would definitely go with water reactive ink pads. You get the most out of those.
Shaz Earl asked a question. She says, could I use an embossing pad on the stencil and then add powder, take the stencil off, and then heat it to heat emboss?
Yes, so I would put your powder on after you've took your stencil away.
Right.
So shall I show you, Ben?
Okay.
So let's just bring this in. I've just got a very quick, let's just, I've got a brand new stencil here. I've not even opened, so we've got to open it. So, yeah, what I would say is the reason being is you just waste your embossing powder.
Yeah.
So what you would do, if you want to open this pack, there we go. I thought it was already open. Let's use this bigger one here, and I'm going to use, just for quickness, we'll use this one. Yeah. And we'll just pop. Now I'm switching my ink pad. Now with this technique, you definitely need to use a pigment ink pad. Right. So we're literally going to place this on here. And I'm not going to do it all, we're just going to do a little bit just to show you how beautiful this technique is. It's an amazing technique and works really well, especially with your embossing powders. And any of your pigment ink pads will hold this, they'll be incredible. So I'm just going to take that off from the bottom. You can see we've just got a little bit there. We're going to then, so we've took that away. Now, if I didn't take this away, Ben, I'll show that here so you can see it, all my embossing powder would stick to the stencil.
Right, yes.
So you're just wasting it because then you just have to wash it away. So don't waste your embossing powder. I'm just using a clear embossing powder. We're literally going to place that all over like so. and then we're just going to pop that back in. So all I've got now is my heat embossing onto that piece. We're going to take my heat tool and literally we can then heat emboss, which is what the question was of what we can do.
Yeah.
But definitely remove your stencil because you'll just waste your embossing powder. And then what happens, I mean, this is a stunning, this is what got me into crafting.
Yeah, you always say that.
I'm going to use this way so you can see
Look
a
at
bit
that.
better. But it is so amazing. It's like magic. You get this incredible shine over the top. And I just love this technique. I could do all my crafting, heat embossing, and stencils just offer you something just more elevated than anything else, because you can use them for backgrounds, you can use them for the main focal point. Look at that. I mean, just pop that away,
good.
bring that one up, and you'll be able to see that straight in the camera. Look at that shine, just absolutely gorgeous. So yes, an answer to that question is an absolute yes. Just take your stencil off before you put your embossing powder down.
Yeah, but shall we also, because I know a few people always ask about this, so Shaz has talked about heat embossing. Can we talk about, can you emboss with your stencils? Because a lot of people ask whether or not you can use them and then run them through your various machines. Is that achievable?
I love that, yes. And I'd already thought someone might ask that question because it is one of our most asked questions.
Yeah.
It's absolutely achievable. So for people that don't know how to use it, this is how you would use it. This is my cardstock. I'm using mirror card because it's the one you can see the best on, which is amazing. So I've just got some of our sort of brushed steel mirror card. Now, the plate's slightly different. You do need your embossing mat. You need your 2 white plates and you need your plastic shim. You don't need your magnetic.
Okay.
So pop that one away. Then what we're going to do is on our base plate, we're going to put our stencil and we're going to place that one down like so. In fact, I'm just going to make sure we get that central like that. Place that down onto our mat and then we're going to pop our rubber mat over the top. What that's going to do is push down into that stencil, then our plastic shim, then our top cutting plate. And that's how you would do it all the time. Some people would have would add their metal shim. I never think it needs the metal shim, Ben. I think that's enough to put that imprint down, and I will show you.
Yeah.
So actually, realistically, and the reason I love this demo is because it shows that all your stencils now have become an embossing. I mean, that's just on the back, I can see it, but if I turn that round,
Oh, wow.
look at that. And if I turn it round to the camera, there we go. There's a lot of lights here. There we go. Perfect shot there. That's embossed into our mirror card, no problem whatsoever. And don't forget as well, your mirror card, you can then ink through and heat emboss as well, or use your alcohol pens and colour it in. So there's lots of different ways that you can do it.
Love it. All these different hints and tips that you can try. Little Bear is asking, how about using gilding flakes with stencils? Is that achievable?
Oh, I love that. So where I use this one, when we put the stencil down and we use our ink pad, you would use your tacky glue, or you would use your glue that you get with your gilding flakes. And you get a little sponge, don't you, with the gilding flakes? Dab that through your stencil. And all I would say is straight away, look, I can leave this and I can wash that tomorrow if I wanted to. If you've put glue on that, it's going to dry, so make sure you clean it straight away afterwards. But you can absolutely do that. Once you've got that down, I would say give it about a minute just to let the glue dry, and then apply your gilding flakes, and that would be absolutely incredible.
Couple final questions. Sandy is wondering, would colour bloom inks work well with stencils?
Love that too, yes. These are great questions. Your colour blooms are perfect for those because literally you would put your colour through the stencils as we've been showing you, and then you would spritz it with water. Don't do anything else, just let the colour bloom. And then just around the edges, you'll get the dye coming out of that colour. And then if you want to go even further than that, sprinkle with water, and then the pigment will be the water reactive will be faux bleached, and your pigment colour will come out of that as well. I love that idea. In fact, I wish I'd tried that one in this because the colour bloom would be perfect.
And one final one from Eve B, who says, acetate, glitter paste onto acetate. Is there anything that needs to be done to that so it stays on, or will it just automatically take?
Just just as you've seen with the mirror, you can put that straight onto acetate and it works beautiful. If you didn't want to do it onto a candle because you wanted to maybe burn the candle, although you can burn your candle with the glitter paste, but you could use a wrap and do them different for the different times of year. You could have an Easter one, a Christmas one, a birthday one, and you could put that onto acetate, and then that bends as well.
Absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much, everybody, for all the questions that you've sent through, and hopefully you can now all go away and work with your stencils safe in the knowledge that you know exactly what you're doing. A massive thank you to Debbie for a brilliant show. We have thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
I love it. These are my type of shows. I love it. It's like a masterclass, isn't it? But it's craft your stash. I love that you can bring everything out of your stash, and it's perfect.
We're doing it again tomorrow, same time, same place, all about storage tomorrow. And Debbie and I will see you back here tonight, live at 5 for a craft along with the Thanksgiving collection. Until then, bye for now.